Hi, beautiful people. I'm Shanika.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Corey.
I'm Kelsey, and we are Mother.
We are Black mothers
and artists in a big city.
Navigating motherhood for the first time.
Through a pandemic.
Sharing our personal experiences, the sweet moments with the kiss, mwah,
and all the shit they don't tell you.
Motherhood.
Raw.
Undressed.
And unapologetic.
This journey can be a mother.
Shut your mouth.
This is Mother.
All right. Hello. We are so excited to be on yet another one of the Mother episodes. First of all, we want to thank all of our listeners and viewers for just really showing us love and showing up and listening to us each and every single week. Today's episode, I'm super psyched about because we are getting the perspective of our dads, of our life partners. It is often a perspective that is left out of the conversation. And so we wanted to make sure that we made space for them. Right here, I have my hubby, Jared Gregory Williams, aka Simply Greg, and
full government.
Of course, we have to because you go by too many names professionally. So we got to make sure the people know. We also have here special guest Wayne, who is the lovely husband of Corey. Say hello to the people, Wayne.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for having me.
Yes, you got that radio voice. Wait a minute now. Do we need to get hold on? Wait a minute. Book him. And we also have here Kyle, who is the lovely husband of Miss Chloe. Hello, Kyle.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so, to start the conversation, when we did our first episode about Black motherhood, Corey asked us a great question that I think is a great way for us to kind of start our conversation. And that is, what is one word you would use to describe fatherhood? And more specifically, being a father of color, what is one word you would use to describe? Anyone can start.
If I had to pick one word, I would definitely, I don't know, prideful comes to mind for me. I just feel a sense of, even more of a sense of purpose. Granted, we know what's going on in the world, but I don't know, just prideful. I feel really accomplished, and like I walk around with my chest out, my head held high, because I know I got this little guy, and yeah, just prideful. That would be my word.
That's good. That's a good one. I think expectation for me. Growing up, my parents were divorced, and I guess being in a Latino household, and not saying this word is common, but being a divorced family being around divorced families is kind of a normal thing, being around Latino communities or something. I'm not sure why that should be normal, but it's not. But I felt like I needed to necessarily not prove myself, but be better. I felt like there's pressure on me as well to do better, because being Latino and being in this country, they look at you differently. Proven the point of 2020. We saw all that. No, curtains were open, no BS. So that's the word.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, I know, Kyle, you're from born in Canada, kind of very, very new to the country. So I'm sure there's differences, there's nuances to it. And that's kind of where I am. It's very complex for me. I too have come from a divorced household, and there's a lot to be proud of, as was said earlier. But I think there's just a lot of me wanting my child to feel the capabilities of being vulnerable and open, and wanting to instill that in Carver, but also knowing that this world is not necessarily designed for his betterment. So really find the nuances and the balance of those two, I think is kind of where I live. But my son's going to be loved. He's going to definitely have the support of his community and his mom and his dad. But also I have to prepare him for some things that may come down the pipe, because it's not all cupcakes and sugar plums. It's a brutal sport, but our children, they're gonna make it through.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting you said that, because that definitely came up in our Black mom experience conversation, where, we realized that we are going to have to teach our children the hard stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to have to teach them those survival skills on top of making sure that they enjoy the best parts of life. And that's just an extra added level that we have as parents of color living in this country specifically. So the next question that I had was, what was the prenatal time like for you as a dad? What was your thought process, your feelings, because we know we're so excited. We can feel this bundle of joy growing in our little bellies, and we have that mother-child connection. But I was always interested in what that prenatal time is like for our dads.
It was exciting as hell for me. I mean, I don't know if you saw that. Remember the episode of Martin when him and Gina thought that they were pregnant, and the first thing Martin did was run to the window and scream out the window and was like, "Woo, woo, woo! I'm having a kid," and he was just really excited. That was me. The minute I found out, I was like, I got to tell somebody. I need the world to know. Like, I need him here now. Like, I know we had a lot of time to go, like the 9 months to go, but I needed him here instantaneously. But it was really exciting. It was really exciting until the morning sickness hit, and then you had your wonderful slip and fall incident that yeah. I mean, we're keeping it real, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So since this is the dad episode, so we're chilling one day, we're relaxing, and she's real heavy in the morning sickness, and I'm like, all right. I had a little routine down. I'm like, okay, I know I need to do this, rub her back, make sure she's comfortable. Great. So the one time I wound up being in our bedroom and she's in our living room, I'm chilling. I hear feet booking it from the living room, trying to make it to the bathroom. Then out of nowhere, you just hear this big commotion. You hear something hit the door. You just hear shit slamming everywhere. And I'm like, please tell me my pregnant wife did not just fall. So I spring up out the chair. I come open the door. The minute I look into the hallway, this one laid out in a puddle of her own vomit because she thought she could make it to the bathroom. That was the only time throughout the whole thing I was on edge, but yeah, next time.
And he was so lovely. He did not make me feel bad about it, and he cleaned it up. I was like, you know what? You're a trooper for that one. I appreciate you. But it was kind of crazy.
That was crazy. But I mean, throughout the rest of the process, it was, like I said, just a lot of excitement on my part because I always wanted to be a dad. So it's like the reality of it was like, okay, I know I got some time. I know he's in the oven baking. Great. But can we turn the temperature up a little bit to kind of speed this up? And, but just a lot of excitement. And then just to get a lot of words of encouragement from my dad, my uncles, a lot of all the guys in my life that I still talk to, my mentors and stuff. Just a lot of excitement,
I definitely agree with you. I was counting down the days. I honestly couldn't wait to be a dad. My relationship with my dad is okay. It's good, but that's about it. So I was just like taking all the things that I learned that I didn't have, and I wanted to vomit it all different. See what I did there, pun intended. I wanted to vomit it all on my new child. I just wanted to give her all of the things I didn't have. And I was just so excited. Like I just was as well just impatient, but definitely being there with Chloe through the pandemic and seeing everything she went through. It's also appreciation because if I wasn't there as much, I wouldn't see everything that you women do to create that beautiful child. So yeah, I'm blessed that I had the time to be here through all that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, it was a blessing, definitely, to have a lot of time with Corey throughout this pandemic, because normally I'm working and I'm like a workhorse. Like when I'm in something, I can live somewhere for 12 hours and not know it. So right around the time, right at the top of the pandemic, maybe about a couple of weeks before Corey and I found out that, we were expecting, I lost my job, and so that's one level of stress that came even before the baby was here. And then also around that time, my father, who I have a interesting relationship with, I love my dad. And, he, to some degree, was, someone I could really rely on, was one of my closest friends, but to another degree, we didn't have that father-son relationship. It was more like we were homies. But all that to say, he was basically on his way out, where he was slowly starting to show that he wasn't going to be around much longer. So on one end, 2 weeks into it, Corey's like, she surprises me and it's amazing. And it's everything that was described earlier, excitement, but also that level of fear, like, oh, shoot, I have a kid on the way. I don't have a gig. Corey, with Broadway is shut. And she's a hustler by nature, but she's also pregnant. So I don't want her out there. We're in the pandemic. No one knows what's going to happen here. If you can go outside or get sick, and then there was the civil unrest, which I'm really excited about, honestly, where it was just like all that stuff. And it was just a lot of different emotions. And I even get emotional thinking about it now. I'm not a very emotional person. I don't talk about my feelings, but, just knowing what was coming and figuring out how to manage everything while kind of keeping the facade that everything is cool, like nothing to worry about. Like, Corey, we got this. But inside I'm like, do we have this? So it was a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. And then Corey probably didn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I knew when my child was going to be born. I knew the exact date. I knew he was a boy. I knew exactly what was going to happen. She'll attest to it. I gave her dates. I gave her everything she needed to know. Like, I know this.
I know this. Intuition. Dad had that intuition.
Needs everybody to know that he was the one. He was the one, everyone.
All right. I knew what was about to happen. So it was like a countdown for me. And, things progressed. My dad stuck around long enough to have some time with Carver before he passed.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it was full circle. And, it's, again, complex. There's a lot of emotions, but all in all, just grateful to have this crazy kid who's much like his mother, very determined and stubborn. But all that to say, I just count it joy that he's here, he's healthy, we're healthy. We're financially in a phenomenal place, better than even before the pandemic. None of it makes sense, so it all works out.
Man, glory to God, seriously, for just like making a way and providing you guys with just the spiritual support of each other and, making sure that you have what you need to support this baby boy. And, everything always works out, right? It's like there's no way that God would bring these beautiful children into this, into the earth, into our lives, and not allow us to be able to provide for them and to support them. As well as I think that they are here for a reason, to be the chosen ones, if you will, to really change this thing around. I mean, they were born in one of the hardest times, at least in our lifetimes, that everybody's experienced together. So I feel like they're going to be strong on a whole other level. It's so interesting that you say like vulnerability, and that you're not, that you're not emotional, because you're sharing right here with us so easily. So we appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Right. I said I was going to keep it a buck. Corey made me promise, so keep it in the vein.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you for that promise. Okay, so Granny, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? Say hello.
What's up, man? It's going to be okay, man.
Hello. Okay. All right. So our next question is, so last week we spoke about the first 48 hours after birth. You know, when life really got real, when it was like, wait, okay, this baby is here? What's happening? We talked about the postpartum time for us, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we didn't expect. But like, what was that time like for you guys? You know, because I know you probably were trying so hard to just care for mommy and baby, but I'm sure you had your own moment of being like, I want to go in the bathroom and I want to cry myself. You know what I'm saying? I saw Kyle unmute immediately, so I would love to know. Yeah, you can go ahead and get it started this time.
No, just being in the car with Corey and Wayne, coming back with Campbell. Just like we're going home with a child right now. You guys are like, oh, cool, there's a newborn. Bye. Getting home, honestly, it just clicked in a way. I did a lot of cooking, definitely. I remember that, a lot of cooking. But honestly, it was just like, I just needed to watch her all the time. So I was just like there with Campbell as much as I can. Of course, Chloe, I'm giving her as much or trying to give her as much sleep as she can, or just taking Campbell as much as I can so she can let her sleep. But cooking and staring at Campbell was the top two things I was doing in those first 48 hours.
You said staring at Campbell, just being like, wow, I made a human being. What? Mm-hmm. I know, right? I still stare sometimes, and we 5 months. I mean, I'm sure you do a year, about to be a year in, still staring. It's unbelievable. Wayne, you want to give a go at it?
Yeah. So it was a really different experience. So the pet nods, we go hard. We didn't do the hospital birth. We did it right in our living room. You know, we had the midwife, we had our doula there. She was amazing for us. You know, frankly, you know, well, I won't go into Corey's birthing story. I'll keep it to the 48 hours. Literally, the baby comes out, and then within maybe 2 or 3 hours, our apartment looks like nothing happened. And they come in the room, they're like, well, you know, we weighed him, he looks good. He was born with an extra toe, you know? So that was kind of the only thing that was different. And then they were like, well, see ya. And then lo and behold, Corey and I are sitting in the bed, she's in a diaper, you know, the baby's, you know, there. And I'm kind of on my side of the bed, and we're just kind of looking up at the ceiling. Corey's in cloud 9. Like, I think she couldn't have feel no pain. Everything was beautiful. And it was just like, what just happened? And where did everybody go? You know, and what am I supposed to do with this person if he starts to cry? They slept the entire night for the most part. And then he woke up, and then it was just like Kyle said, it's just in you sometimes where you just kind of intuitively know what you need to do. Corey was kind of laid up, and then it was just like I was her feet. Her mom eventually came within 24 hours after. It was a day
48 hours.
48 hours after. So it was literally the first 3-4 days, which was us. And we made it work. We made it happen. Kid was cool for the most part.
He's alive to live to see another day, right?
That's the golden rule. If your kid doesn't like die under your care, like you've done good. Everything else, you can work around. He'll be fine.
Right,
so,
right.
He's here.
Right. What you got to say, dear?
I wish my first 48 was as wonderful and less stressful as you guys is, but that shit was rough. Even from getting ready to leave the hospital. So I already was on leave from work for 3 months, right? Basically 12 weeks. So in my head, I'm like, this is about to be 12 weeks of vacation. I'm about to bond with my little one. Me and Shanika are going to just co-parent. We're about to do this thing. We're about to go at it. It's about to be lit. That all came crashing down the minute we were discharged, and Shanika was being pushed out in a wheelchair, and she had a 2nd-degree tear, and it was going to take 6 weeks to heal. So 12 weeks of leave, 6 weeks to heal. Half my leave, I had 2 children. So changing 2 diapers. I'm sorry. I love you. Double the diaper duty. Yes, lots of cooking, just making sure that I was attentive to Grant and,
we had meal prep. He didn't cook. We had meal prep.
I had to put the meals in the microwave so that cooking, okay? It was cold
Raw and
warm.
Unapologetic.
Thank you. So, lots of cooking, microwaving, same difference. But just was trying to make sure I was not only attentive to what Grant needed and getting him acclimated to the world, but also making sure I was there for Shanika because she couldn't necessarily walk. She couldn't really move around. So it was rough and it was tough. It was tough.
He handled it like a champ, though. I will say that he never let me know that it was tough.
Listen, on the outside, I kept it. I was like, yeah, Dad, I got it. Fatherhood, we're going to do this. But internally, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Jesus, everybody take the wheel. I need backup. Like 911, this is an emergency. If I could send a flare up, I would have. But it was also like our immediate family still lives in Atlanta. So we kind of had to lace up our boots and just get to it and figure it out. And we did. But after within those first 48 hours, I think after the initial shock and all wore off, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of staring. I still stare at him now. But
I think Chloe and Kyle can understand that part too about the no family. I mean, their families live in different countries. I mean, that is like, you guys are nailing it. Baby is about to be a year old. I mean, let's just give y'all some shout out right there because y'all made it a year with family being in other countries. Like, amazing. Seriously.
Well, shout out to the family that's never going to meet Campbell as a baby. But to this day, no one's met Campbell. But they're going to meet Campbell when she's a little older and maybe walking. But it's honestly, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything.
Yeah, but you know what? Y'all are the perfect team. You made it happen. So let me get to this question. What are you looking forward to the most about watching your child grow? That was another question we had on the Black Mom Experience. And I would love to know how the dads feel about that.
Everything. There's no one thing in particular that I'm just looking forward to. I'm looking forward to him just crawling around. Just his discovery is what is most exciting to me, and him learning and basically getting into any and everything that he can. I'm here for it all. I mean, my dad was very hands-on with me, and I think I want to apply certain parts, but then there's a lot of parts where I'm kind of like, we can just leave that over here. But
need to reinvent it.
Yeah, just kind of not necessarily modernizing fatherhood, but we're a whole different generation, and it's like, I just want him to explore. I want him to be curious. I want him to ask questions. I want him to interpret things his own way. So just that's also from the photographer standpoint, where we're just like, we see things, we frame it so different, and we see the world in a different way, as like a canvas. And I'm like, I want him to just go and explore. So I'm just looking most forward to being the co-pilot to his exploration through life.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Now, I was one of those kids that were probably one of those children that you would say didn't have any home training, because I was just very hyper. I was into everything. I did what I wanted, how I wanted, and I understand Corey was kind of the same way. So I know what's coming. This kid is going to be a trip. But it's just like, how it was just described. I really just want him to experience as much of life as he possibly can, and really try and fail and not be afraid of failure.
Yes.
And, just know that I'm here to support him in whatever walk of life, that chooses him and that he chooses as well. And that's what I look forward to. I don't want to put any of my goals and aspirations on him. I really want to give him the freedom to design his own path and just know that his mom, his dad, his family, friends are going to be there to support him throughout it. As long as he's not, committing a crime or harming anyone, then we'll have to have a conversation. But after that, it's kind of free reign. Do what your heart says, and then we'll figure it out together.
There, I had a bit of a problem there. Do I need to say anything else? Really? Damn. For me, honestly, I'm just excited to keep it simple. Just to be there for her, like as much as I can. Like I said, going back to the beginning, like I didn't have that. So knowing and experiencing that with somebody that is my child is something I'm excited for. Honestly, just all the time with her and just see where it goes. And the future is going to be beautiful. The alpha generation, come on. Really cool.
Word. So last but not least, I would love for you guys, like, what advice would you give expecting partners, parents, dads? What advice would you give them now that you have been, a year in, 5 months in? What advice would you give?
I would start by saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. Definitely don't think that you just know everything, because I'm learning something new about this kid every single day. Like, there's no blueprint. There is no rubric. There's no set thing that you can just follow to just, nobody has parenting to a T. I think our parents are still figuring shit out about us, and they're like, okay, great. And they're however old they are. But
you ask them, they don't even remember.
Listen, my mom her memory is sharp when it comes to the ass whoopings, and that's about it. Anything else, it gets a little hazy where she's like, yeah, you were a good kid. You had good grades, but you had a smart ass mouth. But she remembers that. But I would just say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Kind of do your own due diligence, do your own reading. Don't really listen to, there's going to be a lot of unsolicited advice where it's like, hey man, you'll do this or you should do that. Just take it in stride. But general rule of thumb, don't take parenting advice from someone who doesn't have kids. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But I would kind of let that go. Let that go in one ear and out the other. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. And just enjoy the ride.
That there is the gospel, right? And I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, the other side of it is just take deep breaths. It's going to be all right. There's seasons. There's a season for everything. It's going to change, good, bad, or indifferent. When it's really, really going really, really well, enjoy it. But there's seasons, it's not going to be that way all the time. So appreciate it. We're prepared.
Preach, please preach.
But it's going to be all right. Deep breaths, rule number one. And there's really only one true rule. Don't kill a kid. As long as you don't kill a kid, everything else can be worked out. You can figure it out. All right. So it'll be okay. Just take deep breaths.
Definitely. Everything happens for a reason. And if you're planning, or if you're almost gonna have a kid, I say start a savings for takeout, because imagine having just a bunch of money on the side for takeout. That would definitely 100% help in 48 hours, 72 hours. You know what? Give it a month of takeout. It would definitely help if you don't have to worry about those little things. And every little thing matters, but everything happens for a reason. And like I said, take a deep breath and you got this.
Lots of woosah. Press the button, just breathe. Lots of woosah.
Woosah.
Listen, woosah and Kool and the Gang Summer Madness got me through everything. Okay? It sounds like I'm going to need to listen to it tonight.
Fred is not having the no attention, honey, on him. He is not having it. But anywho. Okay. Anyway.
Play with
But thank you, first of all, thank you guys for even having a willingness to be a part of the shenanigans. I am so happy. I appreciate you all for just being honest and just coming to give advice and just for showing up as fathers of color. I mean, this picture right here is so beautiful. And I will, excuse me, sir.
Right when you said that.
Picture is so beautiful, and I just look forward to all of us just watching our kids grow and watching you all with them. And you're celebrating your first Father's Day this weekend.
We made it.
Prizes, right? In case
Listen,
we'll talk about.
And on that note,
wait. One last thing. So I'm kind of toying with this idea, and I want to put it out there since you have like a mass audience. I want to start like a baby rental. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a baby here. We can like rent it for like a day or two. I got to do like a severe background check. So, you know, want to inquire, just reach out to Corey. Our rates are very reasonable. He's an okay kid. He's not that crazy. He's a little crazy, but you know, just reach out to Corey and, you know, we can make it happen. So baby rental, I'm just putting it out there. Anybody want to rent a car? He's right there. Right here.
But this is the thing. Somebody might take you up on that offer because if they could fake like they have a child for a day to get some type of discount or something, they probably would. So totally. But anywho, once again, thank you listeners for just tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all next week. Peace.
To stay connected to all things mother, follow us on Instagram at motherlove_. That's MUTHALOVE_. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube and podcast platform pages. Thanks for listening.